Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
Let's go now. 15 line. 15 line. Let's go.
On 1st and 10, Herbert, they'll set up the screen here to mix him. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now Joe Mixon. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. Well, certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14. From the gun, Herbert. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Well, it was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. 2nd and 2. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On 1st down, Herbert. That's caught by the tight end, Drew Sample. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Watch the twist, watch the twist. That's so watch. 22 jet bomber, 22 jet bomber. Ready, ready, ready.
Back to throw. Herbert brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Herbert. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Mixon with it. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd.
Hey, Charlie.
Right there, 54, right there, 54 miles. Let's go, let's get this ball back for the offense, let's go.
Operating from the gun. Herbert. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away.
The Ravens take over. We got this. At their own 25-yard line.
Set, ready? 70, Indy.
Got you, boy. I got you, boy.
Hit it.
And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
A loss of 2.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now Jones into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
Let's go now. 60, Pittsburgh.
Yo, 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 yo. Yo.
Now.
Mixon with a first down carry. He's got the first down here inside the 30. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Down. 15, Lonnie. 15, Lonnie.
Hey, watch the sled. Watch the sled.
Throwing on first down. Herbert got his man. It's Eifert. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Nixon will try the right side. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6, 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 2-yard line.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
Bengals 3.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Back to throw. Herbert for touchdown, Bengals.
Herbert, the keeper. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
On for the point after is Randy Bullock. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7.
Makes the score. Bengals 10, Ravens 7. Randy Bullock to kick off for Cincinnati.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs, so you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
Come on, set. Set. AT Gator. Rock it.
Watch twist. Watch twist.
Steve Griffin.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Hill. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Let's go. First and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Set, ready? 60 or.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Hit it.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Nice job by the defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Got it.
Here's 2nd and 9. Just a yard on that last run.
Roll out.
Check 24, check 24. Big gas. Kill.
Coaching spell. He's coming. Let's go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Man, I got you. Kill.
Hey, Sam off. Snap.
The drive will commence with a run by Mixon. Avery Williamson there to make the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down. D Ford in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. So drive 1, they had the field goal. Drive 2, touchdown. And now here on drive 3, looks like they're going to have to punt.
At least they were finally able to reverse the trend because giving up the field goal, then the touchdown, it's almost like they finally got to the offensive side of the ball and said, okay, we've got the system to shut you down.
That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over.
On the ready.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him deep.
And that's caught inside the 35. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
Down. 60 Pittsburgh. Leo. Get it.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man.
Ready.
On 2nd and 9, Jones towards the end zone for Brown. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Marquise Brown, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. A diving catch for the score. He laid out. That was special.
And you know the first thing they're going to check, right? Did he complete the process of the catch? All the way through, all the way to the ground. Ball doesn't hit the ground without control in his hands. All of that, yes. Check the box, touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. 2nd and 6. They'll have a first down past the 40. That one complete to the former Seminole, Auden Tate. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
Set 90, Wolf. Hey, team 6, team 6.
On 1st and 10, Herbert looking right sideline, but it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. To throw again, Herbert. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 38-yard line.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That one good for 15, and the Bengals get a first down. This quarterback now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10.
Hey, Echo.
From the gun, Herbert. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest, you can draft the most athletic guys, but if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. You're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are in the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Jones operating from the gun. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here.
Hey, high 7. Ready?
Here's Jones. Off play action. He's going to rifle one deep left side. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining.
It's now 3rd and 19.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. 50 seconds. Go.
Jones from the gun, he'll throw. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
It's now 4th down.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return on this one as that kicks out of bounds, so they'll start just outside of their own 30-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
2nd and a yard at the 47-yard line.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Throwing Jones. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. Looking to throw. Jones has got his man. It's Andrews. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. They just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll go with Hill here on first down. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here we go.
From the 38, Jones towards the end zone for Brown. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Bengals drive about to get going. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Again, it's Mixon. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Back to throw. Herbert. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. This will be fielded at the 17.
Let's go.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson with a little how do you do as he gets in there for the sack.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Ready? 8, read.
Watch the pass.
Hey, Alpha.
50 seconds.
Fire.
Jones now looking to throw on 2nd down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Andrews. That one good for 26 and a 1st down. Well, even after all those interceptions, he's not deterred, still confident to go deep at work there.
I think all the old rules about playing that position still apply. If things go wrong, you still act like you're the best player out on the field. You still carry that supreme arrogance with you and continue to fire the ball. I've seen guys have games like this, and this is where you find out if you're great or not. Can you overcome some interceptions and still lead your team to victory?
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 right at the 40.
Hey, exit. Hit it.
From the gun, Jones. There goes a deep ball, end zone, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
Hey, dude.
Now Jones going to throw again. A short throw caught by Andrews. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is third down.
Go, go.
57, Mike, step.
Here's Jones, operating from the gun. Oh, he almost intercepted it. They're just forcing it into too many tough spots. That was almost a 4th pick of the game. And now 4th down.
A 53-yard
And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And that moves them up by a touchdown now at 17-10. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the post.
Ready.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you, because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up 3rd and inches.
Now, this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
You got nothing to win. You got nothing.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. The offense on third down tonight, a pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football.
X3, 218, chop.
Operating from the gun. Herbert, he can run for it, and he will. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
How many times have we seen this late in the 4th quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Strip that ball.
From the gun, Herbert. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
First down, Cincinnati.
Let's go now. 18 Gator.
54. Right, 54. Exit.
Hey.
Motion.
Ready.
They'll run on first down. Mixon. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a first down. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make it good.
On first down, Herbert. He gets this in the hands of Mixon. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll make it a second down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
Ready? 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Off the play fake. Herbert. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sacked there by Avery Williamson, the linebacker.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 15. Operating from the gun. Herbert. He finds his running back, Mixon. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Bullock's kick is good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Let's go.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Hey, lock it.
Again, they'll run with Ingram. And an alley to run. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
Officially, no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at their 48-yard line.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Looking to throw. Jones. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. 44-yard punt. They're going to wind up losing yardage on the return, though. And the Bengals will have a 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory.
Ready, break.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. He'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Trying to go for the big one there on 2nd down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
And Tate's got it. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at their 48-yard line.
Here we go, set, 70, Indy.
Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop.
Hit it.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them.
A loss of a yard. It's now 3rd and 13.
Here we go, here we go. 8-3.
So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Ravens, they're setting themselves up as a major contender as they move to 8-1 now on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, the difficult season continues as they drop to 1-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.